Human trafficking is a serious issue that is sweeping across the globe, even in developed countries such as our own. Every year, thousands of men, women, and children fall into the hands of traffickers in their own countries and abroad. Almost every country in the world is affected by trafficking, whether as a country of origin, transit, or destination for victims. There are approximately 20 to 30 million slaves in the world today. According to the U.S. State Department, 600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked across international borders every year, of which 80% are female and half are children.
On October afternoon, in the office of his private investigation firm in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Joe Sudbeck, a former New York City cop who started the Pimp Squad in the 1970s, sat at his desk, reviewing dozens of papers. He was preparing to meet yet another distraught parent whose child had gone missing.
The girl, Emma Cap, had been missing nearly 8 months, and her father, 43-year-old Eric Luby, was frustrated by the SFPD's lack of progress in the case. Sudbeck is no stranger to cases like Kappaman's. He formed the firm's Runaway Squad around 10 years ago and says he's dealt with hundreds of missing children's cases.
When they get on the street, these kids, it could be a matter of days before they get exploited. And most of the time, it is days, especially young girls.
I'll tell you a story about a 15-year-old girl in Oakland. We'll call her Amy. Amy met a man online, started talking to him. A short while later, they met in person. Within hours, Amy was abused, raped, and forced into trafficking. She was sold for sex.
After spending much of his NYPD career working with the department's Vice Unit, Sudbeck continues to track the victims of pimps and gangs. His current Runaway Squad, which works cases pro bono and operates in South Dakota and Texas, in addition to New York, consists of a handful of mostly retired cops who formerly were referred to as the greatest group of officers on the planet, work to rescue missing children.
Criminal gangs across America are increasingly targeting runaways from the U.S., typically teenagers from disadvantaged backgrounds who they force into prostitution. Experts say that the nature of the crime and the organized gang networks involved make it difficult to estimate exactly how many children are victimized. But according to the FBI, up to 300,000 children across America could be at risk.
Sudbeck said the circumstances of Luby's case are all too familiar. A teenager from a broken home or rough neighborhood falling victim to a predator. These predators increasingly use digital mobile phones and chat rooms to lure their victims. And that's not the only thing. Social media has become one of the newest tactics employed by sex traffickers to lure children into their trap.
There were texts going back and forth from this child. This 14-year-old naked picture said Sudbeck, after Luby had described how his daughter's cell phone contained inappropriate messages from the get-go. It's a clear case of exploitation. Cap was reported missing last February. Luby was referred to Sudbeck last October. Through a comment on a Facebook page he set up to raise awareness about his daughter's disappearance. Luby said he approached Sudbeck feeling the police hadn't been helpful, a sentiment shared by several parents of child sex trafficking victims the DWU News spoke with.
The investigation, Anna ultimately was not found, and it is assumed she fell victim to the sex trafficking ring. Her memory will never be forgotten, like so many others who have endured such terrible times and never made it out.
I've met victims in India. I've met victims that have been trafficked from Mexico, victims in New York and New Jersey and all across our country. I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. I've been on the other end of a phone call from my team asking for my help because we had received a call from the Department of Homeland Security telling us that a 7-year-old girl was being sexually abused, and that content was being spread around the dark web. And she had been being abused, and they'd watched her for 3 years, and they could not find the perpetrator, asking us for help.
Clear that this is a serious issue that needs to be stopped. The only question is how. Organizations around the world have individual goals and visions in how to stop this atrocity. However, it is also clear that this issue cannot be stopped through individual efforts. Organizations from all corners of the earth dedicated to anti-sex trafficking need to band together to reach their shared common goal of ridding us all from this evil that affects so many.